Back there in the video department. Got the brand new Poundcake Sports Break.
Oh, and the podcast, and I forgot to put it up. I was the bad one today.
Later on today. Bill, you son of a bitch.
He sent it to me last night like a good boy.
How are we supposed to get people up?
He was a good boy.
Like a good boy.
He was. Poundcake did what he was supposed to do.
Gross.
For once, and see what happens. That's why I don't do what I'm supposed to do. Because then people don't do what they're supposed to do.
Don't give him any excuses to not do what he's supposed to. This is why I don't ever do what I'm supposed to do, because other people...
They don't expect me to do what I'm supposed to do. So
well, it's just so rare that you do what you're supposed to do.
And I just switch it up on them, and then they don't know how to act.
It wasn't even on Bill's radar that you would send it to him in time, and so he hadn't... But you text him, right, and go, hey...
I mean, he emailed it to me last night.
Yeah.
I just completely spaced on it.
What were you doing last night?
Last night I was hanging out with Grandma.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Scrabble?
No, we haven't played Scrabble in a while. We watched that documentary about...
Skinwalker Ranch?
No, not it's Andrew Watts or something. The guy that killed his 2 daughters and his pregnant wife.
Oh, you put the girls in the oil tanker?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
We stopped watching that when it first dropped because I was like, why are we watching this? We know exactly what happened. It's an
Grandma
awful,
likes to be
awful
able to
story.
say, it's a terrible, terrible story. But Grandma likes to say, "Oh, what a terrible piece of garbage."
Oh,
This
I
guy
see.
is
She
so
likes to get all
wicked."
worked out.
This man.
Yeah.
I tried. We were watching the impeachment series, but they only have like 5 episodes up on.
Yeah, I don't know what
Fubo
happened
TV.
with
Yeah,
that. We
and
were
I'm like-
watching them, and then they
they're
just stopped.
gone.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm done with that now.
I got more into 90 Day Fiance last night.
Oh, no. Power of
Stop.
suggestion.
I can't stop.
It's a good
No.
show.
My boyfriend's-
I was thinking about, because I watched the first season of that, the regular one, 90 Day Fiance, not the.
Well, I'm watching before
Day.
the 90 days, yeah.
So I watched that with Grandma years ago, and she likes that, so she'd probably be into before the 90 days.
Man, I get home last night and
She's very judgy, so she likes to judge people.
well, my boyfriend caught the segment while we were talking about 90 Day Fiance, and Cody, the first thing he says when we get back and we're getting ready to eat dinner, I go, hey, can we watch 90 Day Fiance? He goes, you know what? I'm on Cody's team. I was like, you heard that segment? He goes, he's right. If these idiots want to give away all their money and fly across the world, and he was like 100% on your team. I was like, but they're like ugly fat people. Like, let them
What do you
fly
think it
along."
is? What do you think it is about the human condition? And none of us are above it, even though if we want to pretend we're better than that. What is it about the human condition that draws people to watching shows where they just judge people all the time?
Because
Like,
they're
what
putting
is it?
themselves out there to be judged, though. They are.
That's not up for debate, but we
Right.
don't have to watch them. Why are we compelled to watch
But
it?
it makes me
Be like,
sad for
oh
them.
my God. Because people are like, oh, you ever watch 1,000-Pound Sisters
Yeah.
or
See,
whatever?
I can't watch
and
those
they go,
shows.
oh my God, these people are so fat. Like,
It makes
why
me
are
feel
you
better.
watching
And those
them?
people-
But why is that,
They're not
though?
happy. Like,
But
those
why
people aren't
is
happy.
that's crazy for
Because-
people to have a thing in their brain where they feel superior to somebody? Who's going to feel inferior to a 500-pound sister? By the way,
It's like the reverse
The
of living.
600-pound sister.
It's like the reverse of living vicariously through people, where you go, oh, look at these, like...
My life is awful,
Yes,
but at least
my
I'm not
life is...
that.
I've done stupid things for relationships. I've done stupid
Yes.
things in my life, but I am
Not
not
that person.
That person.
We had
people are so fragile that they
Yes.
have to watch someone who's done
You
worse
have
things.
to.
You don't
But,
have
but these
to.
shows
But
are
you'll
very
be
popular.
They're very
sucked in.
popular.
These are that's why over
Because
the
it's
break.
also a train wreck, and it's hard
These
to look
people
away.
are just-
and they know how
I
to...
wonder
like,
what
they're
that is.
so good at producing these shows now, where they know how to draw you in, because they're not... You know, every once in a while, like we were talking about yesterday, they'll get one couple and everything kind of works out.
Yeah,
and
they're in
it's
love,
nice.
and yeah.
And that's
That's not what people are tuning in.
garbage.
Yeah, people
So
are not
we
tuning in for
hate
that.
They know who they're casting. That's why they get someone like Big Ed, who's lying about being 5'1", and when he shows up,
He's like, I'm 6'2", and then he's like this dinky little...
Well, he said that he was like 5'2", and then the girl that he meets up with is 5'1", and she's taller than him, and she's like immediately. Just like,
how
what the
tall
hell?
is he?
He's like 5'1" or 5 foot. He's very small.
I know in any storytelling, and reality TV is just trying to tell a story. In any storytelling, you need a villain, you need a protagonist and an antagonist, like any good story, right? But reality TV is like hardwired into, you know how like
People like drama.
Like fast food, junk food processed food is scientifically designed to hit your centers in your
Yeah.
brain, you know? It's the same thing with reality television. It's crazy that it's like over the break when I talked about it here, we were watching that Welcome to Earth, the Will Smith Explorer series that was on Disney Plus. It's a fascinating show. It's him going around and he's underwater and then he's climbing ice cliffs and things like that. And obviously that's a very specific kind of programming. But watching something like 1,000-Pound Sisters, or I don't understand the appeal.
It's trash TV.
I understand the appeal out of like a morbid curiosity to go, oh my God. But then you turn it off and you go, I don't watch that. I'm fascinated by people like, these people are so stupid. I'm like,
when I lived,
do that many people hate their lives where they're like watching a show because
escapism.
they go, escape from what?
But it's also it's a unique life to live
And
to go.
it's-
So it's different and it's interesting.
You could never
And-
fathom doing that,
Yes.
so you want to watch someone else
that's
do
where
it.
the
Yes.
I mean that's where the
There's sympathy
curiosity
there.
that's where the
Yeah.
curiosity comes in. But
It
Bill
plays
just
on a lot of things.
Bill just said it. He doesn't like when they like each other and fall in love.
I like that.
He
I think
doesn't.
it's very cute.
And
It's cute, but it's
I
not.
love it. I'm
But
like,
if that was the whole series,
right.
No.
it wouldn't be
you
interesting.
wouldn't keep
It wouldn't
watching
keep
it.
me-
Yeah, it doesn't
no.
keep you engaged.
They need that palate
Yeah.
cleanser for the rest of the show. But it's fascinating to me that because my wife will watch a little bit of trash TV here and there. And
What's her go-to?
If I God, she was watching Love Island maybe.
God, Love
she
Island was
watching
good.
We did watch The Circle, but there's no real drama there. They're all kind of sequestered and they're
That's
in that
more
building.
of a game. That's a strategy.
Yeah,
thing.
that's kind of a fun thing.
But it's fun and
um,
they move pretty quickly. I like trash TV, but I have to have somebody to watch it with. If I watch 90 Day Fiance or Before the 90 Days by myself, I feel like I just don't get as into it.
Oh,
But if
please.
I watch it, I'm saying, like if I watch it
I'm
with a
shouting
lady,
at my TV.
all right, well,
Me and the
you're-
cat are hanging out.
Yeah.
We're having a
When
night.
I lived with my gays, it would be the three of us on the couch, and we would order Uber Eats or whatever,
Yes.
Buffalo Wild Wings. We would make it an event, and we would turn on 600-Pound Life. And we would always talk about, because the whole end goal, the whole end game of that show is get down to under 600 pounds.
So you can get
So you can
surgery.
get weight
Yeah.
loss surgery. And that's what they had to do. They're like, is this fat bitch really going to get down to under 600 pounds? And we were like, there's no way. And we would place bets. Whoever was right or whoever was wrong had to go make drinks the next round. And we would just sit there and binge it because these women are traveling from all over, women and men, from all over the country down to Texas to see this one doctor that is willing to work with them. And they're traveling in they have no seatbelts. They're just like spread out in the back of a van. So she's like, well, like they can't move themselves. If they land on their stomach, they can't get up. So they're like, what? It's true.
You know what though? That is
It's
exactly
like
the
a turtle.
situation. They really are. I was flipping through before I landed on 90 Day Fiance a couple days ago, and the lady was in the back of a van, but she made a joke to her son who was driving her, where she was like, "You're gonna tell my grandbabies that your old mama was sitting in the back of a van." Like that. Like,
And the thing is, I can't fathom that because I'm like, oh my gosh, if this woman farts, it's over. I'm throwing up. I'm going to throw up and crash this van. Like, I love my mom, but I don't know if I could do that. These people have to be washed out back.
Yeah, they gotta hose them
They gotta
down.
be
for real,
hosed
lift
off.
up a booty
Yeah.
and get under the.
Chewbacca
I wash
fart
myself with a rag on a
stick.
And
The Chewbacca fart coming out of that fat lady.
my roommates made the comparison. They're like, yo, you can make fun of this show all you want to, but now one of these hoes are single. And I'm like, it's true. That's love. These guys have
Well,
to
guys are into that. That's a fetish.
Oh yeah, there's guys that are
There's
trying to
a-
fatten their girls up
Yeah.
so they
but
can put
even the
them
dudes,
on camera. And,
even the dudes there, they had like their women washing them and like washing
I
their
always
crevices.
not laugh. Laugh isn't the right word, but when it's always interesting to me when you see those couples and the girl talks about like her fit, beautiful husband, and he's like only 400 pounds. You know what I mean? Where she's like, I nabbed me a sexy one.
if only I could be a model like him.
And you-
Right.
and
but like
you
600
know.
pounds. But I do like that Doctor Now who's on my 600-pound life, who's just
He's so rude.
He's cut. Well, he's not rude.
No, he's not.
He's
He's
cut and
very
dry.
blunt.
He's
He's
telling
very
them,
blunt.
you got to
He's-
stop eating and
Yeah.
eat vegetables and whatever. And they're like, okay, I did everything you told me to do. No, you didn't. That's why you're fat.
Well, the one guy.
He's a doctor. He's like trying to make you
you're
not
going to
die.
Yeah, I saw. He was talking to the one lady, and he was like, "Have you changed your diet or whatever?" And she goes, "No, I'm just a really picky eater." And without looking up from his clipboard, he was just like, "You're not a picky eater if you weigh 600 pounds." He just said
exactly.
it.
Of course. He's a doctor. He's like, you came to me for help.
Right.
I'm trying to give you help. You are not a picky eater.
No,
You are the opposite of a picky eater.
you ate 3 chickens yesterday.
A picky
the
eater.
one
I
I
only
could-
eat one thing, but I eat a lot of it.
I love
3
mashed
chickens.
potatoes.
The one time I couldn't keep my food down. We were eating while we were watching this, and it was a family of 3. The dad was fat, the son was fat, and the mom was fat. And I think the mom and the son were trying to lose weight. They had given up hope on the dad, and they all walk in. And Dr. Now comes in and talks. He's like, "What the hell is going on here? Do you guys live in a barnyard?" He's like, my nurses are throwing up. Do you guys not walk? Like he was, and they said it loud. I'm like, oh my gosh. He's like, it smells disgusting. He's like, you guys don't shower. You guys don't
Oh my
shower.
goodness.
He's like, no. You guys need to have better hygiene than this. And he's like, come back in 6 months
When you've showered.
Oh my gosh, he let it rip, and I was just like, oh my god.
I mean, these shows, you know, there was Intervention, there was Honey Boo Boo, there was Hoarders. I can't imagine Mary would watch a show like Hoarders. That would probably be
Dude.
very triggering for
triggering,
you.
yeah.
It's not even that it's triggering.
Hoarders was probably the only show that I got close to where I would watch and just be like, you son of a bitch. This is so
sick
stupid.
human being.
So dumb. All these,
With Hoarders, it was actually kind of when that show came out, it felt good to be seen, to be honest with you, to know that like I wasn't the only person who grew up like that, because I didn't talk about it with anybody. None of my friends knew why I couldn't have people over. I never talked about that in high school or even in college. I never really discussed it with anybody. And then right around the time I was going to college is when that show started to get popular. And so I would watch it and be like, it was almost like I felt so empathetic for the people who were on that show that I was immediately sucked in. It would make me cry. I would be like, I've been there. I've thrown away the stuff, and then they go back and get it. Like, you gotta hide it away. But that show, it made me feel like seen. It made me be like, oh my God, there's a turn. Because before the show Hoarders, it was like, oh, she's a pack rat, or the house is cluttered, you know, things like that.
Yeah.
So
Not
that
up to the cluttered, up to the ceiling.
Well, yeah, and that show also showed you the science behind it, where they're like a lot of
mental
these
illness.
A lot of these people have mental illnesses, or it's tied to OCD, or they have traumas in their past. So honestly, the show Hoarders helped me understand my mom on a different level.
Oh, I see.
So I kind of
Did you
I was
guys
like,
ever try
perfect.
to get on that show?
We did not. It was like after we had already moved out when that show got real big.
But it's a lot of those shows, they feel doubly sad to me because the people on the show, sad. And then the people who go, this show makes me feel so much better about myself. That's very
That's why
sad
a lot of
too.
people watch it.
I know. But
I'll
that's
tell you
very
this.
sad.
We were talking about 90 Day Fiance. My boyfriend and I had some pretty awesome sex last night because we were like, man, our relationship is great. Like, we're watching these people fight.
What's your
about-
foreplay? My 1,000-pound life?
We're watching these people fight and scream
It's
at
like,
each other.
you're so skinny.
Right. But like, you know, you're watching them do something, and if you watch it with a significant other, it will spark. I'll look at him and be like, there was a...
I'm very happy with you.
Yeah, I just am like, man, I'm so glad we have communication, like things like that. So it makes you kind of cuddle up. And there was a guy who was going to Kenya to meet. He's a white dude going to Kenya, and he didn't know about anything in their culture, and that there's like a bride price, I think is what it was called.
Dowry?
It's like a dowry, but they used a different term for it. I
Okay.
think it was bride price. And
Because the women are all property?
well, because he
You're basically buying the daughter from the parents.
Yeah.
you give the
Dad,
money
yeah.
to the parents, and they said it's usually like $10,000 or $15,000, and if you can't pay it, you don't get to marry the daughter.
Which is like $100 American.
well, he was freaking out because he only had like $2,000 in the bank, and he's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do if I can't give her family this money. Like, she's the love of my life. Blah blah blah. And my boyfriend looks at me. He goes, "You see, you happy that I'm cheap now? I can pay your bride price."
That's right. Honey, show him your teeth. She's
Right.
in great shape. Alan, everyone on all these shows at least once an episode yells, ow, my leg. Is that a thing?
600-pound
The fat
life.
people? Yeah, I guess.
I don't
They
watch
also
that
walk.
show. I don't watch that
I
show.
watch it, and they don't.
Of course you do.
They don't even really stand. They have like a stool or a scooter,
A trough.
a wheelchair.
It's just very sad.
And you have to wheel these people out. Like I remember the one. It always sticks in my head. This brother and sister, the 600-pound brother and sister, lived in the same house, but on different floors, and they hadn't seen each other
Oh my
in
God.
6 years because one was stuck upstairs, was too fat to get downstairs, and the one was stuck downstairs.
I don't want to
too
watch
fat
this
to get
show.
upstairs.
I
I'm going to
don't
watch it with him.
No, I just like to hear the joy
recap
in his voice
And the
as
end,
he's explaining
because-
these horrible, tragic situations, and he's just over the moon about it.
He makes me sound downright empathetic, doesn't he?
Right,
He's
right.
making me feel better about my empathy.
See?
Yeah.
They were making fun of their middle. They were making fun of their middle sibling, their middle sister. They were like, she's the middle child because she was born in the middle.
She's
of
only
a-
300 pounds.
But exactly. They're like
Little
She
twerp.
can use stairs like a normie.
exactly. So she's in.
Normie.
He was like, not only was she born between us, now she has to take care of us. She's our food runner. So literally, she had to go upstairs to feed the brother, downstairs to feed the
I
sister.
would-
It's all the running she does.
Dude, I overextend myself to my family. I love them so much, but if they got to the point where they couldn't get up to eat, I'm like, you are on your
They can get up
own.
to eat. They can't go downstairs.
You figure it out.
You can't fit down the stairs. You said yourself that you would tease your dad because he couldn't get up the
We
stairs.
would.
and try to
That's
whoop
when
him.
we were little kids. He'd be trying to whoop us, and we'd run up the stairs. And like, good luck. Can't get
that's
us.
insane
But the
to
only
me.
thing is that we had to come down eventually. You can't just be
He
upstairs.
was upstairs. and
Well,
he did it
they've
for
had,
6 years.
they have episodes of those shows where they have to cut into the house to get
Yes.
him out on the flatbed, and he loves it.
You gotta cut it.
Look how happy it makes him.
You cut into the house. You need a crane.
He's crying over here.
Beep, beep. It came in like a wrecking ball. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, you got to let yourself go to an extreme degree.
Wasting
And they have to-
tax dollars.
Yeah, cut you out of your house.
600-pound life is one of those that does make me feel sad for the people on it because I'm like, you don't get that big because you're happy. You're not killing it at life, and that's how you got so fat. Like, those people are so severely depressed, and they have issues that they're not dealing with, that they're filling their void with food, and that makes me sad to know how those people are probably so tormented.
To me, it's a testament to how much the human body can withstand. That a human heart can still pump. I mean,
Barely.
they're barely, but they're not dead. They're
Yeah.
600 pounds and alive.
Yeah.
That alone to me blows my mind. The heart is it's working overtime,
Yeah.
but it's pumping and keeping these people alive. I'm like, oh my God.
They would have TLC on it at the gym I would go to, and I'm like, this is not the show to have on here. This is not motivation for me, because if I had to drag myself to the gym to go on the treadmill, I would watch it and be like, you know what, I'm all right.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
doing fine.
I don't
I'm gonna
need
go
to
get
be
pizza.
here.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, this is fine.
I
I'm
got a
getting a
long
milkshake.
way to go before I'm
Right.
stranded upstairs.
Yeah.
God, Poundcake laughing so much.
He loves it.
He's tickled.
Hey, Jade.
Hello.
Hi, what's up?
So you guys were talking about the 600-pound life or whatever and their hygiene and stuff. When I was in college a few years ago, I used to take care of, when I was a nursing assistant, I actually dropped out of nursing for this reason. I used to take care of a guy who was like nearly 700 pounds, and it was absolutely disgusting. This guy couldn't do anything for himself, and I took care of him all by myself. I was like 100 pounds, 5'2" at this time. And it was actually and it was funny because you guys are talking about like the relationships and how you look at your partner like, oh, I'm so glad this isn't us. My fiance now, he's a plumber, so we pretty much, like, when we first met around this time, we bonded over working in poop because this guy just had
God.
the biggest
Yeah.
poop of my life. Like, they were like elephant poop.
Oh,
I swear to God,
Goodness.
to wipe his butt, I had to like go elbow deep. Yeah. And it was like never ending. No matter how many wipes you used, it just kept going.
It's like a marker. I keep wiping and wiping and wiping.
Yeah.
And it's like,
And it didn't
so with
bother
that disparity in your sizes, Jay, did you ever just feel compelled to maybe just wrap your head in a towel and let him use your body as like a back scratcher or anything like that, or no?
Sometimes I just wish I could have just climbed in and,
Yeah.
you know.
And so that
Snuggled
drove
up.
you from nursing.
Yes, I was in nursing school at the time, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to do this forever.
Right. Forever. I don't want to do it for one more week.
Yeah. Shout out to all the nurses out there that can do it, Thank you.
There you go. All the nurses that are going elbow deep on these fat people. Good for you. And thank you for your service. Thank you, Jade. Oh, my goodness.
I have a question, Jade.
Go ahead.
She's gone. Are you there?
Yes.
Did he ever show any signs of guilt? Like, I'm sorry that I got this big and now this is your job?
No, he loved it there. He wouldn't eat any of the food. He wouldn't do anything to help his weight get down. This dude would order 2 large pizzas a day, 2 liters Pepsi. Oh, my God, dude. He would order, and then these poor high school pizza delivery guys would come in his room, and he'd be laying there butt naked, spread out.
You couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
He was like Pearl in that Blade movie.
God.
Oh, wow. Baron Harkonnen just ordered a pizza.
Don't you think don't you think at some point you would feel bad? Where you have to get to a point in your life where you're like, what am I doing?
I think he
this
just is
person's
like,
wiping my butt.
this is my
I haven't
life
been
now.
able to do. I stink.
I think it's a fetish, honestly.
Well, I think also, thank you, Jade. I got to move on. Thanks for the call. I think at some point, too, you're like, the trip to get back is so much farther than the
guess
trip
that's
forward.
true.
I'll just be here and wait if I
I'm just
die. I
And it's
big
like
die.
we
now,
said,
yeah.
it's fun getting fat.
Getting fat
So they're
rocks.
having so much fun.
I can't wear any of my
Party
jeans
never
right now.
stops.
All my jeans are too tight, so that's why I've been wearing like sweatpants and leggings. And I was like, man, I ate a patty melt last night, and I'm like, is it worth it? Because it was so good. So good. Extra side of Thousand Island. Oh, it was wonderful. But my jeans do not fit me.
Right, yeah. Okay, if you're on hold, I'll get you on the way back. I will also have Volbeat and Ghost tickets for you after this break. They're doing a co-headlining tour in the spring. Not in the spring, February 7th. It's not far off. But you'll have to go to Columbus to see them. And then 4:30, next keyword for you to go fund yourself. Your shot at $1,000 coming up.
It's the Alan Cox Show.
Oh, no.